everyone, and welcome to the Shakespeare News, a worldwide literature TV show. Today we have the honor to interview two well-known people from one of Shakespeare's stories, Macbeth and his wife, Lady Macbeth. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Macbeth, good morning.
Good morning. It's nice to be here.
Yes, we are happy for you to be here. And his wife, Lady Macbeth. Good morning.
Good morning.
So let's get started. King Duncan was a very good king. He was always loyal to you, and he even trusted you both. So how were you able to betray him and kill him to gain his power?
At first, being a queen was the most important thing to me. I didn't fear what I had to do to gain power. At the beginning, I felt neither remorse nor guilt of participating in Duncan's murder. However, it wasn't the same for Macbeth, my husband. I needed to be aggressive to convince him to participate in this murder. In this situation, I was the man and he was the coward.
Duncan was a loyal king. He had just given me all these honors and I wanted to enjoy them, knowing that I had earned them fairly. But after all of Lady Macbeth's persuasion, I finally gave in and decided to commit the murder.
You had previously planned the murder of Duncan together, so why didn't you, Macbeth, share your plans of killing Banquo with Lady Macbeth?
I no longer needed Lady Macbeth to accept my plans. I knew that Banquo was as great a man as me and could easily surpass me. And Lady Macbeth had started to act weird, and I didn't think she was strong enough to support another murder.
I had already the guilt of killing Duncan on my conscience. I would not have been strong enough to handle another murder.
Not only that, Macbeth, you and Banquo had been friends for a long time, until you brutally murdered him.
Brutally is a strong word. I would say I did what I had to do.
Okay. Therefore, why did it matter you so much about his son's descendants becoming a king?
I don't think it's fair that Banquo's sons become descendants after everything I had to do to get to my ranking. It just didn't make sense that they didn't have to work for it. Not only that, but I had some fear that they might become greater kings than me, seeing as they were descendants of such a great man.
Perfect. So let's continue. After having gained power by betraying and killing innocent men, how were you coping with this? It didn't seem to bother you as much, Macbeth, seeing as you were manipulating those around you to remain in power.
At first, the crimes I had committed were so horrible that it was hard to bear. I had always been a man who followed the rules, fighting for my country loyally. It wasn't until the first murder of Banquo that really pushed me over the edge. I had started to hallucinate. I was sure I was seeing Banquo's ghost everywhere, and at this point I knew I was too far gone. The acts that I had committed could not be forgiven, and consequently I decided to continue on this act of horror. I had to do everything to save my own skin.
And you, Lady Macbeth, how did you feel about this?
I reacted the opposite way that Macbeth did. Right after the first crime, guilt was not present at all. I had just done something that I had to do to reach the rank of queen. Even when Macbeth started to hallucinate, I was alright. However, it was after that I started to realize that being the murderer was worse than being the murdered, since what I gained did not outweigh the consequences of the crime. That is when I got really sick. During the night, I would start sleepwalking, having nightmares of murdering Duncan. While I sleepwalk, I would try to wash Duncan's blood off my hands, and at one point it was so unbearable that I committed suicide.
Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, you rose to power very quickly. Was the outcome of these crimes worth what you had to go through to gain this status?
Yes, we did rise to power really quickly. However, it was only because of me that we reached this royal status of King and Queen of Scotland. I was the one that organized everything from the start till the end. I was even the one that convinced my husband to kill Duncan. Despite the fact that we reached our goals, the crimes that we committed were not worth the outcome. All those terrible things that we participated in were always terrible to live with. I once said, if you get what you want and you're still not happy, you spent everything and gain nothing. It's better to be the person who is killed than being the killer and be tormented with anxiety. And still, I think that even though we didn't apply it to our lives, we were the ones living with anxiety, guilt, and unhappiness. Look at us now. We are not worth the titles we had, nor the crimes that we did, the outcome.
I am without words for what my wife just said. It portrayed everything we felt.
It was a pleasure to interview both of you. Lady Macbeth, thank you to have participated in this interview.
Thank you.
Macbeth, thank you for your time. This was the Shakespeare News. See you next Wednesday for a new episode. Thank you.